Now, so mem on the base, and we're gonna work through our Mishnah again, where we're up to thus far, or that our view of this Mishnah is going to change radically as we go along, as it does. So, first of all, we've got somebody who deposits a barrel with his friend to look after. That much is common ground. No argument about that. Somebody deposits a barrel full of posh wine, let's say, and the Mishnah says the owner did not designate a place for this barrel to be kept. The Mishnah says that. And the case that we're focusing on is not when the barrel is moved for its own protection. That's nothing to talk about that. Dead easy, it's allowed. We're talking about where it was moved for the purposes of the guard. And he shouldn't be doing that, but he did it anyway. And that we're calling shlichus yad for now. We may change our mind about that, but for now, we're calling that shlichus yad. Shlichus yad is an improper tampering with something you meant to be looking after. And we're also talking not in a case where it broke while it was handling, because then obviously he's liable to causation. We're talking where it broke the following week. So there's no causation, but the question is, since he's not properly returned it to the owner, is it still considered on his watch, such that just like a thief who steals something and then loses it, we've got to pay it back? So too, this guy did shlichus yad on the barrel, and until he's returned it with the owner's permission, maybe that's still the problem. So the Mishnah says in the first section, actually, it doesn't matter. Even if he moved it for his own purposes, once he's let it alone again, if it breaks, let's say the following day, the following week, it's not a problem. The guard is not liable. That's what our Mishnah says. And the Gemara says, oh, that's Rabbi Shmuel. Now, the Gemara asked on this, if it's Rabbi Shmuel who says he's absolutely free and easy when it comes to returning a lost property of Shlichus, he don't care. So put it back any old place, and we're good. Rabbi Shmuel is positively horizontal, is that laid back, right? So according to Rabbi Shmuel, why only in the case where the owner didn't designate a place, even when he did? Because Rabbi Shmuel said, doesn't matter, just whatever, put it back somewhere or other, and we're good. That's Rabbi Shmuel. He's relaxed to the nth degree, sitting there in his slippers. All right. So the Gemara says, who did this last week? The Gemara says, you don't understand. When it says in the Mishnah, the owner didn't designate a place, it means that the guard is exempt even when the owner didn't designate a place. Why does it make it harder for the guard when no place is designated? Who remembers?
I do.
Go on.
Because we don't know what to put back the barrel.
That's right. There's no right place to put the barrel back to. So the owner should be able to say, wherever you put it, it's wrong. You've not returned it properly. And Rabbi Shmuel says, I don't care. I'm that relaxed about returning it that even if you put it back in the place where it is not the right place, because there was no right place, don't matter, says Rabbi Shmuel. It's fine, we're cool. It's returned, and that's an end of it. So Rabbi Shmuel says, once he's let go of it, if it breaks after that, it is not the guard's problem. The guard is not liable. It didn't return to the right place. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you return to the right place or not. It's not important. As long as you put it back somewhere, even if it is absolutely the wrong place, doesn't matter. So you still put it back, you still let go. So we're good. We're cool. That's what Rabbi Shmuel says. That's how I understand the Mishnah. Now, second part of the Mishnah doesn't quite go with that. Second part of the Mishnah says, if the owner did designate a place and the guard moved it around for his own purposes, same case as before, and let it go and it broke, the guard is liable. That's not Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel says, whatever, as long as you let go, we're done. So the Gemara says, no, so it can't be Rabbi Shmuel. Who is Rabbi Shmuel's sparring partner in this? Rabbi Akiva. Thanking you. So Rabbi Akiva says that when you've done shlichus yad, when you've tampered with it improperly, You can only consider yourself no longer in the shlichus yad danger zone where you're liable for absolutely anything that happens, even an act of God. You only get yourself out of that deep hole when the owner says, it's fine, I accept that you have returned it. That's what Rabbi Akiva says. So now Mishnah kind of works. The second case is if he returns it and the owner designated a place and then it breaks, he is liable. That's what he says.
If he designated the place.
If designated a place, yeah.
If you put it back in the same place, you put it back in that place.
Well,
And then it broke.
It says he's liable.
Even if you put it back in the same
Well, it don't quite say, but could well be. Doesn't say in the Mishnah.
He's got no chance.
Well, so no, he has got one chance. He has one way out of this. What is his way out? According to Rabbi Akiva, what's he got to do when he's returned it?
Turn it. Tell him he's returned it.
That's right. That's right. He's got to tell the owner I've returned it. Is that okay? And the owner says yes. You've got to have it's called da'as balim, the consent of the owner. According to Rabbi Akiva, that's what you need.
Consent. Do I actually need the consent of the owner, or do I just need to inform the owner?
That's a very good question. So it needs.
That's the knowledge of the master.
Well, it's not quite knowledge. That doesn't really mean knowledge. So, for example, we say in Kol Nidre, Adas Hamokim Adas Hakol. Doesn't mean with the knowledge of the community. It means with the consent. It's so the English lets us down a bit, as it often does. Maybe the Polish does as well. I don't know. Okay, so we're kind of getting on with the Mishnah a little bit. It's a bit clunky because saying the first part of the Mishnah is Rabbi Shmuel, second part is Rabbi Akiva. Because the first part of the Mishnah says once he lets it go, we're fine. Second part of the Mishnah says letting it go is not enough. So it's a bit sort of awkward to say that one Mishnah with no names has actually got two conflicting opinions in it, seamlessly woven together here, like there's nothing wrong with it at all. But hey, I'm desperate. I'll go ahead. Anything.
You say on the second scenario, if he moved it and he informed,
Yeah.
I moved it, and the guy
Yeah.
says it's okay, it's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
And if they, no, that's not okay. You shouldn't have moved it.
So if he says I don't accept that you have returned it, then and I don't accept that your tampering is not going on, then it could go to Beis Din, and Beis Din will have to decide whether it was a reasonable withholding of consent. Because if he's just like saying if he's been if he's been ridiculous and saying
But if he decided I really should let him know I've moved it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have moved it, but I did. But
Yeah.
I feel he should know.
Yeah.
And as you say, you could say it's okay, don't have a problem.
Right.
No, you should not have moved it.
Right. So then he could take him to the guard could take the owner to Beis Din and say he's being unreasonable. And the Beis Din had to say a normal person in this situation would say.
What's he telling you from the Beis Din?
Well, let's say if somebody got struck by lightning the following day, and now it's a question about who got to pay. So the guard says, well, I put it back and I informed you. The owner says, so remember Levy's case, the owner says, I did not accept your declaration that you returned it. No, I didn't. So then the basic could say, was it a reasonable withholding of consent on the part of the owner?
And then we go to your point, which says I'd actually wasn't waiting for your consent. I told you it's back.
Yeah, and that may well not be enough. So there's something between your two positions here. That on one hand, I think just informing is not necessarily enough. On the other hand, if the owner's being ridiculous and say, well, I insist that you pay me a fine of £10,000. No, that was never part of the deal, and that is not reasonable. So it's between the two positions, I reckon. I'm not sure. I think, but I have enough to say that.
We were talking about doing this without anything happened to it. There was no damage.
Yeah.
Just that he's informing that he moved it.
Yeah.
And as we say, the guy can say, as long as it's all right, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
No, you had no right to touch it.
Right.
No right to,
right.
But there's been no damage to it.
No. In that case, there's been no damage, nothing to talk about. He just returns it, and that's that. We're talking where the following week it fell apart,
and then
all the wine was lost.
A week to happen.
Yeah, a month, whatever.
So he said because you moved it, this is.
So it was still part of your shlichus yad.
But in this case, if that's true, then it seems to me like shlichus yad would be more serious and more stringent than even that, because a thief can return and lamb to a field and doesn't need to ask the consent.
No, and they're the same din. Because the proof text of the bright at the bottom of 40b about Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Akiva is talking about theft. So they're
Right,
the same.
right,
They're both a problem.
right. But if I return the lamb and stone to the field,
Yeah.
do I still need to have a consent of the owner to be released from being a thief?
According to Rabbi Akiva, yes, you do.
Right.
He's very strict.
Your Honour, in legal terms, Your Honour,
I'm retired.
yes, but you're retired, Your Honour, if you're esteemed, Your Honour.
I'll get on with it.
If you are faced with someone who has stolen something and returned it, they've committed the crime. So
Yes.
the returning is irrelevant.
Well, no, it isn't irrelevant. No, it's not irrelevant.
Well, they've
it's
stolen
relevant.
it, the returning's not.
I think we may be diverting from what we're here to them, but very briefly, the return of the stolen object doesn't take away the act of theft.
Right.
Section 1 of the Theft Act 1968, as you were doubting.
That's property with the intention of permanently depriving
Right,
owner.
right, fine. However, it would be relevant as to mitigation from sentence.
Right.
Because if they've returned the stolen diamond necklace or whatever it happens to be, then you can't punish them for permanently depriving the owner because they haven't done that, right? So in fact, it's this 15 years instead of 30.
So, but I'm just, when you say deviating, I'm just trying to go in what you're saying. I sort of like I'm with you in that sense, because I might not have been able to get hold of the owner. So I've had to pass a message.
So that's on
through
you. That's on you. No, you didn't ought to have stolen. And if you did, or you didn't ought to mess around with it. And if you did, I'm sorry, I don't care. You can't say he's not around for you. No, you shouldn't have done it. If you did it, it is on you. You should not have touched it. You should have left it alone. That's like my mum. You should have left it alone. I told you to leave it alone.
But regarding the lamb,
Yeah.
is bar none.
Okay.
Oh,
doing a field trip.
Okay,
Okay, so moving swiftly on. So the first part of the Mishnah is Siddur in Rabbi Shmuel. The second part is Siddur in Rabbi Akiva, but we're not finished with the second part of the Mishnah yet, because if you want to make it go to Rabbi Akiva, it doesn't quite yet. And this is what we spoke about last month, Shabbos, very briefly over there, where according to Rabbi Akiva, remember, he's very strict. So he says, the thing, according to Rabbi Akiva, what you really need here is not about where you put it back. It's about the owner's consent. The owner has to acknowledge that it's been returned and said that and say that's fine. So according to Rabbi Akiva, when we say that he put it back or whatever, he's still liable. Does it actually matter where he put it back?
Did it get damaged by him putting it back, or was
No.
it put through an act of
Out to God next week.
God.
But can't the owner claim it got damaged because you weakened it?
No,
by moving it?
no. We've got engineers who looked at it and said it was not that. It was. Or we've got a meteorologist who said it was that bolt of lightning. I saw it crossing town and it landed on your barrel. No, that would be easy. It's not like that. There you go.
Well, I mean, if the place wasn't specified, I guess it would not matter then where exactly it was put back, as long as it was put back somewhere.
That's not what Rabbi Akiva says. Because Rabbi Akiva says even in the case of the lamb, if you don't have the acknowledgement of the owner, it's not called returned. This case that is
So
ongoing.
even in the lamb case.
Yes,
So in that case, well, in both cases, I guess we need the permission of the owner to be released.
Yes, but our Mishnah doesn't say that. Our Mishnah says, if you look at the second case, Yichud Habalemokim, we're talking specifically when the owner specified a place. Only then does Rabbi Akiva say he's still liable, implying that if the owner didn't specify a place, it wouldn't matter. That's not Rabbi Akiva's position.
So sorry, what is Rabbi Akiva saying again? Just clarify.
He says you've got to have, the thing that matters is not where you put it back, it is the owner's permission. You have to have the owner saying, I permit you to no longer be a thief or no longer be a recalcitrant
Put
guard.
it back in the position.
Yes,
It was
and
agreed.
the proof being that the Rabbi Akiva takes his strict view, even in the case of the lamb, where it's running all over the show. You can't say the right place. There is no right place for a lamb. It does these circuits and frolics all day long. Go on.
Surely the whole problem here arises because if the guard hadn't moved it in the first place, we wouldn't be in this whole machlokes and
Yeah, you're right. But he did.
yes, I realise that. Otherwise, we'd be out having a cup of tea. But how do I put this? It all seems to boil down to, I don't want to boil the lamb, but it all seems to boil down to the fact that if the guard hadn't moved the barrel of wine or whatever it is,
Yeah,
without permission in the first place,
yeah.
this whole problem that we're expected to solve
Yeah.
wouldn't be there at all.
Correct. You're absolutely right.
So come on, there must be a bit more to it that you're withholding.
Well, there's loads.
That's the thing. I'm trying to tease it out of them.
As I said to you,
Tease.
as I said last week, it's the silence of the land.
Oh,
If
thank
we-
you.
If there is no place that is specified and it cannot be returned to the correct place because it does not exist, then all that can really release us from being a shlichus yadnik, if I can use that term, is the owner's permission.
That's right. So the Gemara asks exactly your question, which is if the action is with the shlichus yad, why does the second part of the mission, which we agree is Rabbi Akiva, it can't be Rabbi Shmuel, it's got to be Rabbi Akiva. Why did the second part of the mission make it depend on the owners designating a place? It shouldn't matter whether a place is designated or not.
But if you designated a place, I've moved it, and I've moved it back to your designated place.
Yeah.
And then it gets hit by lightning.
Yeah.
How can that be my fault?
Because Rabbi Akiva says you need
it.
no, because Rabbi Akiva says you need the owner's permission for it to no longer call shlichus yad.
You shouldn't have moved it without asking.
I put it back in the.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter.
But what about if I had left it where it was?
Then it's fine.
Then it's
Then it's fine.
Place,
But
nothing gets
no,
damaged.
but again, it's like if I steal something from you, and then it disintegrates, it gets struck by lightning in my possession. I can't turn around to you and say, "Well, I'm not going to pay you back because you got struck by
Have you
lightning."
got the receipt, please? I'd like to get a refund.
if I stole it from you, I've got to pay you back. That is the deal. What's called paying it back, according to Rabbi Akiva, you have to acknowledge that it's been restored and it's fine. If you don't do that within reason, then it's not called returned.
So then we have to rely on Rabbi Akiva saying we need permission,
Yes,
and without permission, to get it all better off.
you're right. You're right. But that's not what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah says, oh, it all depends on whether the owner designated a place. What's that got to do with anything?
He was,
Well,
he
that's
was
a
trying-
good-
he-
No, you can't say that.
So if the Mishnah says it does not, it all depends on the place, and
Yeah.
Rabbi Akiva says it all depends on the owner's permission.
Yes.
Then we have a contradiction. Really.
That's right. That's exactly my question. Yet we've got nobody else. There's no other show in town. We've got Rishon Rabbi Akiva. They're the only ones to talk about this. You've got to be one or the other. You're going to invent a third convenient opinion that's anonymous in a conflicted Mishnah. Give me a break. That's thin gruel. So what are we going to do? So the Gemara says, don't worry. We've been down this road before, and we're going to flip it, and it's going to work.
Okay.
So Alex sorted this 2 weeks ago.
Have
And we're all, not this one, but the other one. We're going to sort it now. Okay. So the Gemara says, you don't understand Rabbi Akiva. When it says in the Mishnah, if the owner designated a place, it means even if the owner designated a place. Even if the owner designated a place. So there is a right place for the barrel to go back to. And the guard put it back in that right place. Even in that case, Rabbi Akiva says, you're still liable. Because it's not about where you put it, it's about
permission.
permission, exactly. It's about consent of the owner. So that's what it means when it says Yichud Makom, that the owner designated a place. Not that, only in this case will Rabbi Akiva say liable, not the other case. No. He's saying even in this way, it's so easy to put it back in the right place because the owner said X marks the spot. That is the right place. In the back corner where I put the chalk circle. Put it back there. And the guard does. Nonetheless, says Rabbi Akiva, I don't care because it doesn't matter where you put it. It matters whether you got the owner's permission to say it is now returned.
Right.
That's so just like with Rabbi Shmuel, when he said if he didn't designate a place, we said even if he didn't designate a place, so it's hard for the guy to return it because there's no right place. Nonetheless, Rabbi Shmuel says it's okay because you don't need the owner's permission. So too, in the second part of the Mishnah, which is Rabbi Akiva, we say, even if the owner designated a place it to return to, and even if the girl put it back in the right place, that very spot, it doesn't matter because according to Rabbi Akiva, it's not about the place, it's about permission.
Right.
Ta-da! So it's not, to be fair, I'm giving it a B, all right? It's not brilliant because you got one Mishnah with no rabbis mentioned in it, and one has Rabbi Akiva and one has Rabbi Shmuel. It's not Rabbi Hudanos's most elegant creation, what my father would call a Friday afternoon job. It's a bit sort of cobbled together.
Permission to, if you've moved it,
Yeah,
and the owner doesn't know you moved
yeah,
it, but you need his
Yeah.
permission. Well, I did move it. Can I push it back?
yeah.
You have to do it. You can't just push it back and feel it's where you want it.
That's
to
right.
be.
That's what Rabbi Akiva says. Yes, yes.
So before I put that back,
Yeah.
I'm saying, well, you wouldn't know whether I moved it or not.
Unless I got witnesses. Unless I got witnesses. You're right. There are witnesses. There are witnesses. You're right.
His witnesses said, well, you've done nothing wrong. You put it back.
It's not the witnesses to say. It's not their opinion is irrelevant. All we've got is the psak and the beis din. According to Rabbi Akiva.
So then you're up to you call the guy and say, look, I moved it. Have I got your permission to move it back?
Right.
And he's furious. You shouldn't have moved it.
Right. Yes. Could be. Yeah.
So is it just that Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva disagree on the fact of permission? Is that
Yes, that is exactly it. Yeah, and again, it's a bit funny in the Mishnah because the Mishnah makes it depend on whether the owner designated a place. The first case in the Mishnah is when the owner didn't designate a place. Second case in the Mishnah is when he did designate a place. So it's a bit funny. It's sort of a bit like this. You're saying, although the Mishnah talks about making it depend on whether the owner designated a place, actually that's wrong. The first part's Rabbi Shmuel, and even when he didn't designate a place where it's hard to return it, nonetheless it's okay because Rabbi Shmuel is very laid back. According to the second part of the Mishnah, it's even when the owner did designate a place, so it is easy to return it. Even so, it's not called return until you get the owner's permission. Why? Because Rabbi Akiva takes a very strict view, and the second part is Rabbi Akiva.
But in the case where he didn't designate, he
Yeah.
hold it down anywhere.
Yeah.
So there is no place designated.
Yes, that's right. So the way we take it now is that means every place is wrong.
But then surely it's sort of like voided out in the sense that right at the very beginning, he's doomed because he doesn't have permission to move it. So if it's down to permission,
Yeah.
to put it back, then he must have the permission to move it. So if he moves it, he hasn't got permission to move it.
Yeah.
See you later. We're done. It doesn't matter. Go into part 2, part 3, and part 4. You didn't have the permission to move it, so therefore you don't have permission to put it back. I don't have to say yes, no, indifferent.
That's according to Rabbi Akiva, that's right.
So I'm
Well,
right at the
but
beginning.
don't move it. Leave it alone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Unless
that's
you
his
get permission.
Yes, correct. Because his job as a guard
Permission
is not to move it around. His job is to leave it alone. He had one job.
And I need permission even part 1 and part 2.
Yes, you can't get the stuff.
Can't get-
Anyway, there we are. Okay, so that's where we are thus far. Let's have a look at the guard. So now to 41a, and you'll see how all this plays out in real life.
We're off to the motorway now. 41A.
That must be Manchester already.
61.
Oh,
And he knows
Okay, so the Gemara said, where are we? 2 seconds.
sorry, George.
We are on 41a, and we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines down on 41a. Amos, so far, I will quote the second part of the Mishnah, Yichudul Abanabai, where he says that the owner did designate a place, V'tiltala, and the guard moved it, Vinishba, and it broke. Whether it was while he was handling it, whether it was a long time after he let it go, if he moved it for his own purposes, he's liable. Obviously, for the purpose of the barrel, it's okay. That's on Rabbi Akiva. We've come to Rabbi Akiva's view, who says, we need the consent of the owner. And the Gemara says, what is that case? Rabbi Akiva, if it's Rabbi Akiva, My iru yichdu. Why does the Mishnah say that we're talking when the owner designated a place? Afidu lo yichdu nami. Even if the owner didn't designate a place, Rabbi Akiva would still take his strict view, because he would say it's not about returning to the right place, it's about the owner's consent. So the Gemara says, you're right. Lo mibayu ka'ama. It's saying even. Lo mibayu lo yichdu. Not only in the case where the owner didn't designate a place, the lav makomahu, where no place is the right place for the barrel and it's definitely not been returned. So certainly in that case, Rabbi Akiva would find the guard liable. Ela afilu yichdu nami. But Rabbi Akiva, the point of the Mishnah is quoting the most extreme case. Even when the owner did designate a place, the makomahu, it's the right place for the barrel. Nonetheless, no, it's not enough to put it back, even in the right place. Boinon das balim. We need the owner's consent, and if you haven't got the owner's consent, you are toast. There. So the Gemara says, "Ooh, all right, that's all. It's all very clever, but it's not very elegant."
So does the Gemara agree with Rabbi Akiva then?
No, the Gemara don't agree with any of it. So the Gemara says, Reish Rabbi Shmuel v'Sefer Rabbi Akiva. What you're saying the first part of the Mishnah is Rabbi Shmuel. You're seriously saying this. First part is Rabbi Shmuel, second part is Rabbi Akiva. And the Gemara says through gritted teeth, yes, I've got to say that. And he says, not just me saying this, but Rabbi Yechon said, he makes a bet. If anybody can explain to me the case of the barrel according to one opinion, I will take his clothes behind him to the wash house. I will serve him in public. And for Rabbi Yechon, that would be a huge indignity. So, if you know, it's like saying, if you can sort that out, I'm a Dutchman. That's if you can get this Mishnah to work according to one opinion, I'll do whatever you like. It's just ridiculous. There's no way you can make this Mishnah work according to one opinion. Can you guess what's going to come now?
I could.
Sorry? No. Go
I
on.
could, Rabbi, but with you, I'm not going to.
So they're now going to have three rabbis to try to make it work according to one opinion. That's our next. Oh no, we can do it. We'll have Rabbi Yechon take our stuff to the wash house. Thank you very much. They're up for the challenge. They're going to give it a go. So we've got Rabbi Yaakov, Rabbi Sheses, and something else we've got now. Rabbi Yaakov Ba'avo says, I can do it. Hold my beer. I can make this work. Okay. Rabbi Yaakov Ba'avo, sorry, Tirgum Rabbi Yaakov Ba'avo Kamei the Rav. So Rabbi Yaakov Ba'avo explained this Mishnah in front of Rav. Shenutala amanos lagoizla. We're talking where the person took the barrel in order to steal it. So this one version of shlichus yad. The shlichus yad actually means you take it to steal it. Tigum Rab Nosson bar Abba kamei Rav. Rab Nosson bar Abba said it's talking where he took it in order to just take a little bit of it, just have a little taste, just like. Effectively, yes.
Well, it's the first one to take the whole thing, the second
Yeah.
one to take part.
Yeah, he picked it up in order to steal it. And the second one is he picked it up because he just have a little snifter. Yeah. Just a little taste. Maybe less than a fruit.
Check it.
Yeah, no, well, no, not for that bit of sorry car. That it's not for it. No, it doesn't need checking. I'd say to my mum, I'll take the food for you. Yeah.
Didn't entail.
Monet, as the French say. Yeah. Okay. So, but my comment for you, what are they arguing about? And this comes a little bit back to Alex's point. B'shlichus yad. Just a second. Whoops. B'shlichus yad. So now, just by the way, we're on 41a. You see, there's an asterisk at the beginning of the line. We're at that asterisk. B'shlichus yad tzricha chisaron. We're talking about whether tampering with something only classes as such if there's an actual impact on the thing. A diminution. Is it called shlichus yad if there is no diminution of the actual contents?
So
Okay, so just moving it
Yeah.
rather than opening it up and having a label full of the wine,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Maybe.
I think I'm in the wrong.
Maybe.
Depends who you're getting at. So according to Rabbi Yaakov, yes. But according to Rav Nosson, give us a second. Pum, 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 pum.
That's where we are.
Ah, lovely.
You're done.
Yeah, so according to, lost the place. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. So according to Rav Yaakov, if you just move it in order to smell it or whatever, it's not a problem. According to Rav Nosson, it is a problem. Rav Yaakov, but Abba and Rav Nosson, but probably two brothers. Rav Yaakov, sorry, Alex, you're going to say something. Alex?
No.
You're going to say something before?
No.
Okay, all right. So, Madam and the Glaze log, one opinion is that it's only called Sichos Yad if you take it in order to take something from it. And the other one says that it's called Sichos Yad even if you take it just to, I don't know, muck about it, smell it, or whatever. Maskit Rav Sheshes, so Rav Sheshes says you can't say that. Just by the way, that doesn't fit the Mishnah. Midin Natala Katani, Tiltla Katani. Doesn't say in the Mishnah he took it. It says Tiltla, and Tiltal means moving. Doesn't mean taking.
So he moved it because he saw the weather forecast. There was going to be lightning.
Right?
So he decided, in his wisdom, it's by the window. I'm going to take it away from the window.
No, that'd be the Torah. That'd be for its purposes. That'd be legit. So that Halavai.
Broke it in that. So he's now.
He's clear. He's clear. He did the right thing. But we're talking about he moved it for his own purposes, not to take it, says what Shay says.
It was going.
Well, not quite. Not quite. He moved it because he wanted to, bless him, he wanted to use it as a ladder, as a step ladder to reach a nest of doves that was high up in the rafters of the garage.
But this is the situation when you've caught him halfway out, or he hasn't really shown what he's going to do with it. Are you stealing it, or are you using it as a ladder? You're saying you're using it. I don't know that.
No, there's witnesses.
Maybe.
There's witnesses. He used it as a ladder, then he let it alone. Then a week later, it got struck by lightning. So again, you're right. We've got to say where the facts are known, because that's what he says. So you must have the witnesses, whether it's CCTV or he admits it, whatever you like. Because if you had doubts about what actually happened, then it'd be a whole different ballgame. Then the guard would say, "Well, prove I did something wrong."
And it's his fault. He stood on it, right, and he's broken it.
No, he didn't break it. I was absolutely fine. A week later, got struck by lightning.
Ah, okay.
But that the country says it's still called Slichus Yad because you moved it improperly. It's still a problem.
It's not even like that.
We should have left it alone. You can't go victim blaming. It's his fault. That sounds so much like my mum. I just had to leave it alone.
So moving alone is enough to.
According to the Shay says yes. And on Shay what we're talking about here, he moved it in order to get down doves. The Kosova, and he holds Gazlan happy. Somebody who borrows something without permission is called a robber. He's not allowed to do that. It's called theft. Okay.
I think that Rashi has just said, I have been listening. Just one thing.
Yeah.
If a person steals a cow and takes some off her milk and then returns the cow, then it stops there.
Oh, has he got to pay for the milk? Probably, yeah. Because he took milk that should have been the owner's. Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Yeah, because otherwise the milk will belong to the owner.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
It's what you call a
mood foot. Very good. Okay. V'chula Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Sheshes says the whole. In fact, all of them. So we have a sort of side argument here about what exactly he moved it for. That's not really what I mentioned to him. We're talking, but what we're going to come to now is the point where Rabbi Yaakov, Rabbi Nosson, and Rabbi Sheshes are going to address Agamar's point and say, by the way, it's all Rabbi Yishmael. Whole Mr. Rabbi Yishmael. There you go.
So Rabbi Akiva is not mentioned?
Yes, he's not. Well, that's okay.
It's all about permission. Still.
No. Because Rabbi Yishmael, you don't need permission.
Don't
Don't need permission.